forever. I've been around the world and going back. You remember that song?
My baby, I don't know when,
Yeah, have
I
you
don't
missed
know
me?
what.
Oh, don't you even. You're like, it's so peaceful here in Los
Of course
Angeles.
I missed you, girl. I
Don't
mean,
even.
What's LA with no Tammin?
I know. So I've been to Australia, London, Germany.
I mean,
back.
you are racking up the miles. Where are we going to go on our next trip?
We're going to go to Vegas, baby, which leads me to my next guest, because this woman, you would have to be under a rock to not know who she is, right?
She's amazing.
And it's funny, I saw this beautiful woman a couple of years ago, and I remember watching her from afar going, how do I ever become that and get to know that? And here we are. So it's all about manifesting your life. Who do we have, Roxy?
We've got Molly
Sims!
Welcome,
I love
Molly
you
Sims.
guys. I've only sat here for 5 minutes and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to be your best friend.
Oh, please. Again, I manifested you into my life because I remember that fashion, they used to have it at the hangar down in Santa
Yes,
Monica.
yes.
I watched you from afar and I was like, she's so beautiful. I was like, I'll never be like her. I was like, how can she be in my world? And I manifested you
You guys
onto
are
this couch.
amazing. And I love the show. And you guys are just, you bring so much honesty and realness, and you guys are rock stars.
Thank you so much for
We
coming.
love you too, because you know why? I feel like Molly could be like literally our best friend. Like,
She is our best friend.
So relatable.
Okay, Roxy,
like,
she's our best friend.
She's a mama too. She gets the shit that goes on. Like, what we're doing.
Got to get shit done.
And
the
what
last,
what is
the last chapter of my first two books, how to make shit happen.
What's really cool about you, though, is I've met you recently within the last 6 months, and I didn't know how just awesomely you're from the South, right?
From the South.
From the South,
Murray, Kentucky.
Yeah, so you're just
girls in the
so that's why I like Roxy.
Yes, woman.
You're just very open and honest, and I just feel like maybe it's the Australian in me, but I just feel very connected to your personality, and you're just like a girl's girl, which I think is pretty awesome.
You know, my mom taught me that. She said, you know, always be a girl's girl. Be on someone's side. You know what I mean? And I love women. I love supporting women. I have a little baby girl, Scarlett. She's 4, and I think it's important. You know, I think especially now I see so many men supporting men, and I think women sometimes have this thing where they, instead of supporting each other, they bash each other. And I don't want to be a part of that club. That's not my club.
Do you feel competitive, like with other moms, especially? Like,
Listen, there's always going to be, like, you know, my little boy just played in a little championship soccer and a little championship basketball. I'm like, you get that. You're that mother. You get that mama bear. You get that. But I'm not, and I think this is ultimately just my personality. I've never, I don't have a lot of FOMO.
You have JOMO.
Life.
I have JOMO. Do you get JOMO? Joy of missing out.
I get joy. I mean, I
love
have
it
not
so
heard that
much.
so much, but like I want to have joy. How do you say it?
JOMO, which is
JOMO.
joy
I want to
joy
have
of missing
JOMO
out.
tonight.
Yeah.
December, I want to have JOMO.
I know.
I really do.
Do you ever get social anxiety about being in these? Because in Hollywood, you're probably expected to go to all these parties and show up, and everyone's like your best friend. Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure and anxiety to be this person that people expect you to be?
I think there's a certain responsibility that comes along with being in the entertainment business. I do. And whether that is just because I'm Southern and I want to be kind and I want to, you know, give people their moment or their, you know what I mean? Like I that's just the way I raise. But yes, of course there's, you know, I'm already self-conscious because I'm like, oh my gosh, am I too fat? Am I too
How
skinny?
are you
Do I have
self-conscious?
fat?
I'm
I
like,
know.
you're so beautiful.
I know, but I still have those thoughts. You know, I was in a business as a model where I was judged for so long, and to try to fit into a sample size at, you know, which is basically a 0. And I don't know, maybe that's just because I have felt it so long. I don't know how to not feel it. It sounds weird, but yeah, there's definitely pressure. There's pressure from yourself. There's pressure from the outside community. There's pressure. There's just pressure, you know? Sometimes I can thrive on it. And sometimes I'm like,
run away.
what is
Try to avoid
happening?
it.
I'm totally overwhelmed. I'm totally, you know, not present. And I have found, especially in the last few months with my mom being sick and just things happening personally, that, you know, I have to breathe. I have to slow down. I have to have more self-care. I have to have a really strong team and presence around me. And I think when those balances are off, it really affects me. And that's hard as a mom and a working mom.
is your husband really good about kind of coming in and like taking some of the pressure off you and kind of being supportive? And
My husband, he really, honestly, he is an amazing human being. He is a great guy. He's an amazing father. I think I'm the doer. I'm the worker bee. I'll get it done. I'm a people pleaser. I have to stop saying, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Why do we say sorry?
Why do we say sorry so
especially
much?
women.
I'm always apologizing.
Women are always apologizing.
Right.
I asked, I was on the plane coming back from London last night and I was like, can I please have some nuts? I'm so sorry. Why?
Why?
Yeah, why are we apologizing? it's an epidemic, I feel.
Rachel
Especially
Hollis,
with women.
She wrote this book, Girl Wash Your Face. And now she just wrote, Girl Stop Apologizing. And I really have to, and I want to do that also for Scarlett.
For daughters.
For daughters to constantly be like, oh, hey, do you mind doing this? I've ripped open 74 boxes and done them for the garbage men so they won't have to spend extra time. And can you just help me just a little bit? I have a little bit of a hard time asking for help. So yes, he absolutely helps me and he has my back. It's more about me not asking for enough help.
How did you know he was the right person for you? Because you met how long ago? 8 years?
I really just wanted to get married and have kids.
Is it really?
Yeah. At that point, I just
It could have been anyone.
I just used his sperm. I don't know. I knew he was the one. Okay, you know what? That's a great question. Do you know why? And some of my girlfriends are single, so this is the best piece of advice. It's not that hard. It doesn't have to be that hard when it works. And I knew,
relationships don't have to be so hard.
Relationships, you don't have to try.
Right.
When I met Stuber, it was somewhat easy. I almost fought against it being oh, I'm going to ask you out. And I was like, oh my God, you're too nice. You wear suits. You need to have better casual looks. But, but I'm just saying I knew he was the one when he just was he was good. He was solid. There wasn't I date crazy actors and crazy who are awesome and I love them. You know what I mean?
Which is great for a finite period of time
But
until
until
you have to raise children with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you saw him as a father, when you met him, sort of a thing.
I
saw his sperm as a father.
Yeah, you're like,
no.
That is some good looking sperm.
yeah.
It was a good looking sperm. But you know what? I had picked my lane.
Yeah.
I was 36, turning 37, 36, 37. And I just had picked my lane. I stopped being a gypsy and traveling and going to here and working and being on a show and really tried to focus on what do I want? What do I want for me? What do I want for my future? What do I want my family to look like? And so I really didn't play games. I mean, I did a little bit in the beginning to sound cooler because I did.
How long did you make him wait?
Yeah.
I think I was a day. I was a day.
But my girlfriend,
A year.
No, Molly,
You made him wait a year?
in the beginning, my
That's why he
girlfriend-
married you, because he was just
they wrote my
He was in
text
love
for
with
me.
you.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
But a year. But literally,
I think I waited 2 days.
or that day.
My husband was a director on a film that I was doing, and he was just knocked on the door, and I opened it, and this was 2 days after. Well, it was we met for 2 weeks. We were doing rehearsals, and he walked to the door, and he was just like, "I'm falling in love with you." And so I was like, "Let me take my clothes off." And that was it. And
down
we've been
right
together.
now.
We've been together for 13 years, so it worked,
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't work.
And I'd known him, but he was always with someone. It was just a different time. I was trying to be cool because I really honestly hadn't dated. I was terrible. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? I was always a serial codependent monogamous. But my literally Emma Shaw, and they would write my text to make me sound cool. I'm like, what is happening here? Then I got into it and I got in the game and then I stopped playing games. I'm like, I can't do this.
The first time you got jiggy with it, was it just amazing or was it awkward because it had taken so long to get there? Or was it really special?
Yeah, was it?
It was pretty good.
He's like, it was really good.
See, we're out of venom.
You have the build up, right? You have the build up, yeah.
I'm going to try that in my next marriage.
Number two.
Wait,
Number two.
no. On your next one.
We meet the first for love, the second for
Money, right?
second for money.
Or the third is
No,
money.
the third is
No.
the third's for money.
The third's for
The second,
money.
well, the
second's
first
for
is
sex.
Sex?
yeah, the second's for sex. First for
Okay.
love, second for sex, third for money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. You're only on the number one.
Well, I feel like I got 1 and 2 in the same boat.
I spend a lot of Super's money, so I feel like I'm on 1 and 3.
That's good. Perfect.
What's it like flying a private jet? I swear every time like I see your Instagram stories, I'm like, can she
honestly,
be my friend so I can come on a private jet? That's
what
literally
it
why I
is?
invited you.
That's my husband, not me. I'm not.
You don't like
Are you
to do
sure,
that.
Molly?
right,
Are you
right.
calling up and being like, it's time for the
No, I have to wear
private jet?
necklaces. I have a superstition. Like it's a whole thing. When we're all together, it's totally fine because I'm like, if we all go down, we all die. And it's like, I have these really bad, morbid thoughts. I'm like, okay, no, it's terrible. I have like these. I actually went to see a therapist about it last year. I don't know what it's actually called. It's like like catastrophic thinking.
That's what I have
like moms
every
have that. I
single
get that
day.
too, I feel
So
like.
she said I just had a third baby. My hormones were dropping.
The whole flight back
Your
from
kids are
London,
not-
I'm just like every bump. I was like,
Yeah.
this is it. Like
I know.
my children are not going to know me.
I know.
Like that's it. I wrote like a whole will saying like what I wanted them to be like when I grow up and how much I love
told
them.
my husband, I'm like, you know, I'm like, if you're gonna marry your, imaginary it girl, I won't name her name.
So you still have those fears that we all do.
I do.
Okay.
So would you consider it catastrophic thinking if you lay in bed at night? Because this is what I do. I lay in
Roxy
bed at
does this
night.
every night.
Yes, and I think about, oh my God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna wake up.
Like in your bed?
In my as I'm like going to sleep,
Thinking
I'm
about
like,
it, but you're
oh
not gonna
my God,
die
I'm
in your
gonna
bed that
die.
night,
Like I
right.
get anxiety. Like, oh my God, I can't go to sleep because I'll never wake up and see my daughter again. Like it's crazy.
I think being a mom
Makes it worse.
Makes it worse. Yeah. I do. I think you're invested. It's like, I hear, Ashley, who works with me, she calls her mom. Like, it's just like that thing. I call my mom. Like, I call my mom on the way here. Like, you just, I don't know. There's that thing of like, oh God, what, I have to keep them safe. Like, I want to protect them. And it's just like, they come out of you and you're like, mom guilt.
Do you have a will?
I have everything set. I
Yeah,
do.
I wrote on every time I leave, I write on a piece of paper.
Would you stop
These
it?
children will go to this person, and if my husband doesn't make it, we'll go to this person. They must be raised in this country. Oh yeah, I'm like crazy.
I know, but you have to take steps to make you less crazy.
I am taking steps, but nothing's working, Molly.
I know.
Nothing's working.
Call Joan, 917.
No, I'm like, I go to therapy all the time. They're like, maybe you need to just chill out. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck to chill out. I don't know.
Well, I went to her and I'm like, listen, I don't think I need you. I have,
you need me.
I have some thoughts. And I was like, I don't really, she's like, okay, honey, just sit down for a few minutes.
Okay.
I was like, okay. Within like 3 minutes, she'd handed me like 7 tissues. She was like, I'm like, just for a few minutes. She was like, it's been an hour 45. I think
That'll be $750.
I think
Like
we're
what?
good for today. Anyway, she's
Wait,
great.
so Molly, do you first of all, do you have the mom guilt where you're like, oh my God, I'm stretched over here, I'm stretched over there, I should be over there, I should be over here, does that like go through your mind a lot? Do you
It goes through my mind every second of the day.
crazy? So how do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, sometimes I deal with it really well and I'm very rational, and other times I'm not rational and like I have breakdowns. Like I literally I was sitting in my car yesterday and there was a delivery man who I sort of know really well now because I love him. Javier, I love you. And he was like, he's so
Does he talk like this? Is he hot?
awesome. He just had a baby. But he's like I'm sitting in my car and like I'm hysterically crying. So it's like your FedEx guy is looking at you and he's like trying to see if he should like come over and like see if you're okay. Good, so good, it's fine.
So what were you feeling guilty about?
I just was like losing my
know.
mind.
I did
You
that
know what I
yesterday.
mean? Like
I
I
cried
don't
the
even
whole way
know what
home.
it was
the
about.
meltdown,
But it was just like so many things. I'm like, I give up. Like I can't.
We need to accept and just appreciate that we're different than men, because I feel like we apologize so much. Like my husband's always like, is it that time of the month? I'm like, if I want to fucking cry about nothing or about the fact that I'm wearing 2 of the same, my shoes are different on my feet and I feel like I'm a crazy person, let me fucking cry. What is the deal? It's okay.
So I do have like slight, I mean, he'll never listen to this, but I do have slight fluctuations like where I know I'm like, why am I fucking
PMS is
why
PMS
am
is
I
so
crying?
it
Like,
gets
why?
so much worse.
I'm
Yeah,
like
it does.
watching, like I was in the hospital watching the Hallmark movies because
Oh my God.
And I
You're gonna
texted you, I
fucking
was
blow
like, watch my Hallmark movie.
By the way, they're so good and it's like so happy and joyful, and I'm like, he's gonna kiss him, mom. He's gonna kiss him. But like, I don't know. I just was literally having like an utter fucking meltdown.
I feel like PMS, I don't know if it's hormones post having children. My PMS is so bad.
Mine is definitely worse than after. It didn't really affect me before. I got this app. I don't know.
Oh, my flow?
I got you.
This is not. We're not promoting my flow. It's so good. It's like this week you need to you need to meditate. Like
my
eat like
trainer.
Japanese
Laura
shit.
Keller.
And I'm like, great. Let's like eat Japanese.
She was like, I was like, I never know. And she was like, oh, you're starting soon. You're after. And I she leaves.
and you shouldn't work out too hard just before your period.
Why?
Because it's not good for like just your blood
Shaking it
flow.
up and stuff like that. Okay.
No, it's just not good for energy. You're supposed to like
Okay.
be really calm and centered.
I don't know what common sense means. I
What
don't
is
have
that?
that in my vocabulary.
Do you carry? I carry Xanax with me and never take it. Do you carry Xanax?
I don't.
I never take it. I just have it just in case.
I want to.
Yeah.
Like I want to. Like
I
my
wanna
friend
want to
said
take
the
it.
other day, like, I think you might need something.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I think I can get
No, I'm
through.
fine.
Have you delved into the gummy world?
I got that, but
Okay.
I haven't tried it yet. Not yet.
I don't like smoke.
I probably should, but I'm too scared. I don't know.
There's a great amino acid called L-theanine, which is great.
Well, I do like this oil from Sagely.
It's like I do oil.
Wait,
I
okay,
should be
you're
smoking
into
weed.
CBD,
and I
right?
like the
Yeah,
Sagely
yeah.
oils, and they have like a Dream and Drift. I love the lotions. I love their cream, but I don't know. I just haven't. I got my mom some stuff for her pain when she was first sick, but I want to. I want to take Xanax.
I want to smoke weed. but I'm a terrible
Xanax.
stoner.
Guys, I want you guys
I
to eat
want
gummies.
to.
Gummies.
Really? Are you on one
I
right
want
now?
to. I
She's like,
want
I'm
to
gonna
take
go right
gummies.
now.
I want to drink alcohol.
Yes.
I
You
want
drink
to
alcohol.
No, but I really want to like just
Get
rip
wasted.
it.
I've never gotten wasted.
I want to. Deep
I do
down,
want to too. I want to be that crazy. You know,
like I was
it's a
that
control
girl,
thing.
you know, I was like the goody girl in school. Like I was like, you know, like I'm like, really, you could have sex with multiple people. I'm like, I want to be able to do that. I really wanted, and
I had
like,
3 boyfriends once.
see, I wanted to do that.
Because that didn't feel dangerous to me. Like drugs to me feels dangerous. And
Oh, I
like
don't do
taking stuff
drugs.
like I
I've
feel.
never done
but like a
drugs.
penis doesn't feel dangerous. I'm like, I can
Would you-
control my penis. You know what I mean?
What about 3 penises at one time?
That's fine. Like not together. you have to shower, Roxy, between.
you have 3 holes. I mean,
Oh my god, you do. And then there's the ear. There's a lot of different ones you can find.
Guys, stop this. I'm putting on earmuffs. Okay,
She's like,
well-
la la la. I'm from the south. I'm a good girl. I don't do gummies. Oh come on.
No, but I want to. I want to.
yeah.
I want to.
It's a nice like even out. I feel like it's like a nice like.
I don't know. I smoke weed and I sit there and I feel like I'm trapped between like life and death. And I call my mom and I'm like, I'm freaking out because it's been 2 hours, but I think the clock just said it's been 3.5 minutes and I'm losing my mind. And then I went and got a pizza, ate it and fell asleep. And I'm like, now I'm fat and like high. And this is a terrible drug. I think I would like cocaine. Like cocaine, I think would be
God,
awesome.
I don't want to see you on cocaine.
That'd be a great.
No, I would have too much energy. No.
We need to take some of it away.
See, it's like, you know, you're like, I'd love to be you. Like, I'd love to be like dangerous and cool. I mean, I don't even think that's cool, but like, just like, you know, with the boyfriends again, I kept going back being like, I wish I could be that.
Yeah. Do you feel sexy?
Now?
Yeah. Do you feel like you're sexy?
I have my days.
You look
Yeah.
damn sexy, girl.
I have my
you
days.
look damn sexy.
See, I've never felt sexy.
Would you stop it?
No, I like sex. That's a very different thing. Like I like sex. I love intimacy and connection and I love the act of sex. But I don't feel attractive. I never
it goes
have.
back to like when you were a kid, like being
Yeah, I was
overweight?
very overweight as a child. And then, but I look back at like my 20s and I was like, I should have like worn my tits out shirt and like, you know, I had a great little ass. And like, I don't know, I've just never felt beautiful. Do you know what I mean?
That's an inside thing, though.
Yeah, I know. I totally know that. And it doesn't matter who says what. Like when someone says, oh, you're so cute or you're so attractive.
It's the
I've
same
never
thing when I
felt
sat
that.
down. You guys, oh my God, it's the same thing. It's how you feel on the inside. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no amount of therapists, no amount of people, no amount of friends, girlfriends, partners. You know, you have to feel good about yourself from the inside.
Yeah.
Like that, I can really take onus on is that you have to somehow find it in you. And when you go through these moments or when you, you know, but you're so beautiful.
But if someone says like you're so pretty, I just think it's like a sweet compliment that they're just saying. You know what I mean? But it's interesting.
got
It's
hair
a-
down and put on a white t-shirt and some great jeans.
I'm gonna be like 80 going, I'm fucking hot, man. And I'm like, I should have got and I'll get my tits out shirt on then.
do done undone and yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it, girl.
Do you worry about self-esteem or
I
like
do, especially as it
suffer from
relates-
bad
You know,
self-esteem?
I will say this: as I've gotten older, I give a lot less fucks than I did.
I love Beyonce the other day. She was like, I could give 2
Yes.
fuck about what people say.
Yeah, because she's fucking Beyonce. It's like $1 billion fucking dollars.
I love my baby. I love her
Right?
so much.
She's so
Great.
amazing.
She's great.
I love
no,
her.
but I think, I think it's taken work. It's like, getting older, sort of like going through like life stages, but also after having my daughter too, I'm like, I feel more conscious about having more self-esteem, especially around her, because that's all I want to do is build her up, like get the confidence in and get her self-esteem going so she doesn't go through what I went through when I was younger, where I doubted myself so much.
Yeah.
And same thing, like didn't feel attractive, didn't think I was attractive,
My mom and dad, my mom especially, she was good about that. She really built us up as
My
children.
mom did that too.
Yeah.
And which is, it does help. It doesn't solve it. It doesn't, ultimately when you become an adult, but it does help to have that, great foundation.
What would she say to you? Like, what were some of the things?
She just was like, just you believe in you. She always told me, or she always did, and she still tells me, she was like, and I say this a lot, go with your gut.
Yeah.
Like if your gut's wrong, if your gut thinks something's wrong, like with your child, or you just suspect something, or like go with your gut, because your mom's gut, your mother gut, it's a good gut.
Yeah.
Back to self-esteem though, don't you think post-birth, it's really hard to, and I'm trying to practice this self-love, which it's so, right now it's about being honest on social media and talking about your insecurities, but like post-birth, your body is really completely different than it was before, and you have to accept a new self in a way. Like you've kind of ripped all of your old away, and you have to start to like look at yourself in the mirror and appreciate the new, which I find difficult because you do see things like extra skin and sagging boobs. You see it as a deformity in a way, and I feel like more so in America than anywhere else. But like, how do you start to love this extra skin? And like when you feel like
really
it's not,
love it.
yeah, I don't love it, but then what do you do about it?
I don't know, but I'm
Accept
also
it. Maybe
not,
acceptance is the key.
maybe acceptance or not, or it's like I'm going to try to take care of it. I'm going to do 74 surgeries. I don't know, but I just
74 is a lot of surgery.
that's a lot of surgeries. No, I just I also don't want to be passive. Like I want to feel good. So if I could do things to make myself feel good and feel accepted, like I'm going to do that. That's something that is, I guess, I talk about a lot, is like to empower women, not in your 20s, not in your 30s, not just in your 40s, but at all times. Like if that bothers you, do something about it.
But I would, but my anxiety, what you were talking about, the catastrophic thoughts, I'm like, I'm going to die on the fucking table. And then it's going to be like, how did Tammin die? She died having a fucking tummy tuck. You know what I mean? Like she's so into herself. She's got 2 kids and she was like, oh, this little bit of extra skin. I want to feel good in a bikini. And then like, that's how I go. Like imagine my obituary. Like people won't come to the funeral. They'll be like, that bitch. She's like, she needs to get herself in check.
I think the same thing, but I'm like, but then it's like if I don't do something, which I'm like, oh, I've just got this so much skin. I'm like, but then it's like, I get so upset.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds superficial and lame, but that's also like being real and being honest. Like everyone now is like, oh, just accept yourself. Like just accept. I'm like, no, I don't want to accept it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I want to feel good about it. Because if I just say I'm accepting it, I'm lying.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on like, because obviously we're in Hollywood, there's a lot of like plastic surgery and dermatology, there's injections, there's Botox. What is your like view on that sort of whole scope?
To each his own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Truly to each his own. I really mean that. If someone feels better by doing a nose job or a boob job, or they've, a lot of my friends are doing Invisalign. Like
Everyone, that's
I know,
Jamie,
it's the
what is
gateway
that?
drug, she said. Yeah.
they wanted their teeth to get better. Like whatever it is that you can take steps, it's what you said, to have acceptance, to feel good, whether it be whatever, then do that. I believe less is more.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think going to the knife is, I think sometimes the wrong quick fix. I think there's a lot of steps that you have to do because it doesn't fix the problem of how you got there. Like especially with weight. I hear so many women saying, "Oh, well, I'm just going to get a tummy tuck."
Yeah.
But that's oh my gosh.
You need to figure out why, tummy tuck for skin is one thing. But weight, you need to figure out the problem before, because that problem's still there afterwards.
And it can be very dangerous. You know what I mean? Like to just go and not lose the weight, and also just to ultimately feel good about yourself. That's the goal. Whatever that is, that's how I feel about plastic surgery or different procedures, or I'm a mom now, so I like to be more natural than before, probably with my products, with my cleaning stuff, with my makeup, as you know, things that I can add in that can replace something that is toxic. I am trying to do that. I am not the all natural, I want to be the earth mama, baby angel mama, but
just a step closer in the right direction.
Exactly.
If everyone did that, I think the world would be a much better place. Going back to your husband, he's gone probably so much because of his job, right?
Where is he?
Yeah,
he's in New York.
So how do you keep that? I find when I travel, so I've been traveling so much, when I get home with my husband, there's like such a weird transitional period. And we always fight those first couple of days that we see each other because it's hard to be in each other's space after, like, you're living separate lives. How do you keep that connection going? Because my therapist always says, like, when you meet each other, you have 4 to 5 years of greatness. Then it gets danger zones because you've got kids and you got money stuff and you got travel and you got work. You have to keep falling in love and you have to keep connecting. So how do you do that?
We talk a lot.
Which is connection.
And like sometimes he calls me too much. Okay.
My husband does that too.
He calls me.
Like, stop calling me
like,
36 times a day.
You have got to stop calling me.
Go back to work.
I mean, I truly love
Which is
him.
great.
But like,
Imagine he did.
you're so needy right now. But we have that connection, and I love that he wants me to be his stylist, be his business coach.
That's
I
nice.
love
So
those
he
hats
needs
that I
you.
wear.
Yeah.
But we have that, and I love that he loves that advice from me or that partnership with me, because I think that is the base of everything. It's really hard with kids. It's really hard with schedules being gone. We normally have to like schedule it. It sounds crazy, but like
Schedule sex.
well, just schedule our life, like schedule
Tuesdays and
everything.
Thursdays.
It's like
I'm not available, Molly, so stop
2
texting me on
minutes
Tuesdays
of
and Thursdays.
Pure ecstasy.
Sometimes we just lay there and I'm like, okay, so we got to get into it's like, because there's no like, it's no spontaneity. So we're sitting there like, okay, so he's like, well, I should just touch you, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then we're just like, and I'm like, I love you. He's like, I love you too. And I'm like, do you want me to touch you? Like, it's just so awkward. But then it gets great, But the starting steps is a little
it's hard.
rough.
It's hard with kids, and there's one in the bed at all times now.
Oh my
And
God, totally.
you
Yes.
know how that is. Roxy, it's like it's crazy, but we find our time.
Yeah.
The weirdest times ever.
Sometimes the weird times on like the random or the
I-
best,
oh, the
right?
best.
I do
Yeah.
too. It's like
Right?
The garage, like, I'm
everything is
cleaning
like-
out the garage. I know you are.
Yeah.
Cleaning out the garage. I'll be there in 5.
You're cleaning out my garage.
And I'm like, hope I don't get stuck in the garage and not get her upstairs. It's like the door won't open.
they're upstairs on the 3rd floor.
Yeah,
We're
it's fine.
downstairs. in
It's
the basement.
fine.
So you mentioned you have one in the bed too. So do I. My little daughter, bless her heart, every single night, even if we
No.
put her down in her bed, somehow she manages to.
That is Scarlett.
Okay, so how are you dealing with this?
I'm
like,
dealing
what do you
with
do?
it.
Yeah,
I'm dealing. She's on top of me at all
Yes,
times. That's
at
how I'm dealing.
times.
You know what?
yeah.
My girlfriend gave me this advice the other day. She said, it's not going to be forever. And I just was like, she needs me. She's having nightmares. And she goes, this morning, she goes, you're just so warm and you smell good. And she doesn't really have her S's like my son. She goes, you smell good. And I'm like, and she goes, I just love to cuddle you. I'm like, get in here. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
the best. It's the hardest and the best thing you'll ever
So,
do.
but it is like, I do have sleep deprivation. I do. I literally have it.
I hallucinated the other day. We were at dinner. Seriously, we were at dinner. I was talking to this one girl and I had one drink. And I thought to myself, why is the guy over there wearing a wolf mask? And I looked back and I'm like, nope, he's just a normal person. But I literally
hair.
saw on this, because I hadn't slept in like 3 days, I literally saw in the corner of my eye that he was wearing a wolf mask. And I was like, that's awkward. That's weird. And I looked back and he was totally fine.
Are you sure you weren't high?
Did you get a gummy?
Maybe I was high. That's the story, part of the story. Just sleep deprivation is a real thing.
The real thing.
Did you
it
suffer
can make
post-
me rage?
Did you suffer postpartum in any way?
You know, I think I had a little bit after Brooks, who was my first, who's 7, Scarlett's 4, Grace 2.5, almost 3. I don't know if I would say postpartum per se, diagnosed. No. But I definitely had my blues. I definitely, between that 6 week and that 5 month, like that.
I was a nutbag,
Like
right?
that for the first 6 weeks, you're just like, I'm in my gown, we're breastfeeding, and we're like, but then it's like,
You lose it a
And the
bit.
oh my
exhaustion
gosh,
fully
I'm
kicks in.
sweating,
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Help or no help, they still want you, they still need you. But yeah, I think I had a blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was more about like, wait, what have I done? You know what I mean? Like,
Why am I here?
there is another one. This is going to be 19 years in preschool. You know, like we're
Can someone not shit on me? Well, and then your husband will start shitting on you because he'll be older and you have to change his diapers. So it's like everyone's shitting on you for the rest of your life.
Pull-ups forever.
You're like, no more poo.
I felt like at the hospital, I almost felt like it was a vacation. Like I was like, this is so nice.
My
Right?
husband said this is the
Waiting
most
on you.
expensive hotel room we've ever had at Cedar Sinai in Los Angeles, California. Thank you, Dr. Michelle Hakaka. We had the same room all 3 times, but it was kind of nice. They serve like this really
it's amazing.
caloric fruit juice with really crushed fine ice, and literally like my husband would have like 7 of them a day. I'm like,
I got food delivered from like a private postpartum chef the second time around, and it was like my husband was like feeding me like these broths and stuff, and I was like breastfeeding naked, like with my everything to the wind, and I'm like, this is just the way I want to live the rest of my life, like just naked, breastfeeding, my husband feeding me, and then real life kicks in, and I'm like, I'm in a fucking diaper, I'm like bleeding in like a huge pad up my butthole, like it goes all the way back there, and it smells like snakes. Like no one talks about that blood. It smells always like
it does.
it's like snakes. It's like
blood,
deep
yeah.
snake blood.
and it's so red. It's like,
It's so red and just goes on forever. It's like I'm
Ever.
3 weeks in, I'm still fucking in a diaper bleeding.
And even when you have a C-section,
like how
I
am I
had
not
3
dead?
C-sections, and she was literally trying to help me into like this contraption that you have to wear. And I'm like, please. And she was like, oh, wow. And she's being super sad. She's like, oh, I'll help you. That stops after you leave the hospital.
yeah.
Someone helping you. You're like,
I had to fart before I left the hospital, right? And so I couldn't fart. So my husband's sitting there like trying to, because I went to this like amazing
but you know, they won't,
hypnotherapy.
let you leave if you have a C-section unless you go to the
fart.
bathroom.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I'm sitting there, he's hypnotizing me. He's like, you're feeling the wind coming through your body. And I'm like, fart, fart, fart. It took 3.5 days to fart. The minute that little sound came out, whoop, I was like, we're going home. I was so happy. Because I have to make sure your intestines are working.
yeah. No, it's a major fucking surgery. It is scary, but yeah, I mean, but then when I got home, I literally like was like, what the fuck? Like
Right.
you were saying, like, what did I do? I was the biggest bitch for like literally probably 4 weeks straight to my husband.
I would say about 7 months for me.
or
Like, I would
3
extend
years.
it just a little bit. You
I think
were
a
pretty
full
bitchy
year.
for about a full 6 weeks.
It's like,
I was like, literally, he could do nothing right. I was like, no, you just like, you looked
Your
at this.
hormones are also dropping. I would have
yeah.
really bad. I don't know about both of you, but
Like
maybe
rage.
because of my age, I would have really bad sweats, like night
I'm
sweats.
still sweating.
I'm
I'm still sweating because I'm 10 months out.
Oh yeah, I sweated for almost a year. Like a weird sweat at night. Like I would wake up and I'm like,
Yeah.
wet.
And then I Google like night sweats and like, you probably have lymphoma. And I'm like,
Down the
fuck,
rabbit
like
hole.
the first sign of cancer is night sweat. So I'm like, that's it. Because it can't be the baby that I just had. It's probably lymphoma.
Yeah.
You know, when you're talking, I've been recently doing a lot of doctor's appointments with my dad, and like they know I'm lying because I'm like, oh, I just wanted to ask you about these 9 questions.
Yeah.
And so finally on question 3, it's like,
If you're a
are you
40-year-old
Googling?
woman,
And I go, no, not at all. What would make you think I'm Googling? I'm pretty sure you're Googling. Nope. And I burst into tears. I'm like, yes, I've
It's
done
the
like
worst. Yeah.
97,000 tabs. I've got 97,000 tabs there.
Oh yeah. So like my daughter was pooping before I left to go to London, and I was like, she has rotavirus. Like she definitely has rotavirus because of all these symptoms. I'm like, and I have it too because I have the farts. Not that I'm nervous to fly on the plane. It's just I have rotavirus too. So like we were gonna go get tested, and I was just like, let's just see what happens. And she doesn't have it. But it's just like Google's the devil.
Google is the devil.
No, WebMD is the fucking
Oh,
devil.
WebMD.
That's hardcore.
Literally hardcore. Every time you look at that.
My girl, but you can sound really smart. My girlfriend just kind of was figuring out a few things going on in her body, and I'm like, okay, I read this, you read this. By the way, just for the record, guess what the side effect is? She's like, what? I'm like, weight loss. I'm like, this is awesome.
Oh, any side effect is weight loss. I'm like, nope, that's not what I have then.
Yeah.
Because if it's weight loss and I don't have weight loss, I would like to figure out that. I'm always like one bad stomach virus away from a perfect weight.
Ideal weight.
Yeah, I'm just like, can someone give me a stomach virus and lose the last 10 pounds?
My friend said, can I just come over and kiss your child? I'm like, sure.
I have 8 pounds left that will not go.
8 pounds.
It's just 8 pounds. It's like all
that,
it is.
That last like
It's all
goodbye.
it is.
Yeah.
So last question, or getting to the last, I think Roxy and I were talking before about your road to fertility, right?
Yes. We wanted to talk to you about that because you had like a very interesting road to fertility. It's like you planned, but you didn't even need to use your plan.
Well,
right?
But I believe in a plan.
Right.
I was just a very early...
Early adopter?
I was an early adapter.
Catastrophizer.
I'm just going to preface this. I was playing pregnant on a show, and I'm not a method actor at all. Mm-hmm. But something about playing pregnant, not being with someone, it just definitely, for whatever it did, it definitely spooked me. And I'd always wanted children. I had always thought I would love to have a great big family. Mm-hmm. Maybe not this big, but joking.
Like one less kid.
One less, maybe 2. I told the woman in the ice cream store that she could have my children. I would trade.
Were there accidents?
Oh, for ice cream. That's a good
But
deal.
you planned 3, didn't you?
The third was interesting. I had a few complications happen.
Yeah.
So
Happened to me.
when that happened, I just was like, I think we need him to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning with fertility, I wanted to have a little bit of an insurance plan. And I always had said to my mom,
smart.
I want to, not start a family in my 20s because I was traveling and I really wanted to be selfish and all these different things. But when I went to see the doctor, no one was really doing it. It was very early. No one talked about it.
What age were you?
Very taboo. It was 36, so this was 10 years ago.
Okay.
It was very taboo. It was like something's wrong with you. And I remember saying, like, I went to Shaheen Gadir, who's a fantastic LA-based doctor, and we got into a huge argument because I'm like, I would like to freeze eggs. He was like, he's like, honestly, you need to freeze embryos. We can go. We can, find your sperm. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, excuse me. Sports Illustrated. Don't think I still have it in me to find someone.
Yeah, right.
And he was like, well, I didn't mean it like that. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, we got into like a massive.
I feel sexy.
I don't need to go to that computer and find a bank. Anyway, I ended up going back to him. I did not do when I first went, but then I met Stuber and I knew that I still wanted that insurance plan. So I was doing it. Mm-hmm. I was already doing it. Okay. And I planned to do just eggs before I met him.
Mm-hmm. That's so smart.
So I just, and my girlfriends were like, I cannot believe this. I can't believe you would like tell him you're going to do this. I'm like, if he doesn't want to marry me, he's not going to want to marry me if I do this or we do this together or we don't. Like, anyway, I wanted that insurance plan, and it's as simple as that.
But you didn't need to use it.
I didn't need to use it.
And the insurance plan is freezing your eggs.
Yeah.
And embryo.
Or sperm or embryo. I'm sorry, I'm going to say that again. Or freezing your eggs, embryos, whatever you can do, because when is time to have a baby and you're dying for that little sweet little angel of heaven, there's a lot of pressure. So if you can somehow take that pressure off, because listen, I got pregnant on my honeymoon.
Oh, wow.
I was married for,
pull out baby.
4 days.
My last one was a pull out baby. She will know that for the rest of her life.
Yeah. One of mine, I was like, oh no, we didn't have sex. And they were like,
we had sex on my period. And that's how she got. So we had 2 miscarriages, and the doctor said, like, wait, don't have sex. So I actually realized that it's meant to be. Like, if you believe in a greater, the universe and God and whatever, that little sperm, man, like, stuck in there, waited for the right time for a week and a half, got that egg, and then now she's there.
But
so
I
it's
do
meant to
believe
be.
in fertility. Yeah. I believe that if it helps women in any way possible, and at the end of the day, everyone gets their babies. It doesn't matter, adoption, egg donor, sperm donor, whatever it is that you want your family to be. I believe that everyone deserves that. I truly do. And I am a big believer in fertility. I'm a big believer that, you know, if you want to be young and be selfish, be young and be selfish. But then, you know, make sure you don't let your years go by, because it does happen quick. And I always talk to young women. I'm like, should I, shouldn't I? I go, if you're questioning it, then do it.
Yeah, do it.
And I mean that. I truly like, I mean that. And my path ultimately wasn't very easy. You start to freak out. You start to get, you know, crazy trying to have your family, and that never helps anything. So I think if you can do fertility before, especially like freezing, until you have to get in those daunting, hard IVF situations, because it's very hard, you know, and it's very...
it's traumatic too.
It's very traumatic and depressing, and you're alone. And
affects
I think
your relationships with people and
but
your husband.
I'm so happy now people are talking about it. I really, truly, like, I have so many girls reach out to me, and I'm always like, you've got this. You can do this. I mean, like, I literally should write like a girl's guide, because I do the maca powder, do the, like, I could tell you smoothies and
Vitamin D, big one.
You know, DHEA and all the different things, because I truly think those make a difference. Acupuncture.
And we also need to talk about miscarriage, because I think you feel so alone. I know with my two, I felt like no one had gone through what I'd been through. And then the more we talked about it, especially on this podcast, most of our guests had been through something similar. They had known someone.
Mine was bad. Mine was pretty.
My first one was bad.
Yeah.
It was, because it just was, it was.
And it affects you for like.
It just was it was, you know, I just had Scarlett, and we didn't have sex. I'm still convinced of that.
It was the post
immaculate conception.
It was your.
For the record, Dr.
What's
Michelle,
his name?
we didn't.
Harvey A or whatever.
It's like, I'm pretty sure you might have done. I'm like, I'm telling you, we didn't. Did he? I was like, nope, nope, we didn't. Well, clearly we did.
In the middle of the
so that was
night.
like a little bit. Yeah, it was very difficult, and it was very. It just was sad.
I was 4 months with my first one, so we're pretty far along. And I've spoken about this before, but we had the choice, which no one even talks about. Like, so we had a choice of a D&C or to do the pill. And so I was so afraid of the D&C and going under. I didn't even know a pill was really a good option, but it is. But again, no one talks about it.
I didn't
so
know that was an
you
option.
you put 3 pills sort of up your private parts, and then you wait to abort. And it's like, so you sit there. And so for me, it took a good 6 hours before my body went into that, like, aborting. And you go into labor. I mean, you fully go, it's like cramps, but the cramps get more intense. And then you open up, and then you have contractions, and then it comes out. And like, there was an umbilical cord, and it's like, you know, no one ever talks about this stuff and how horrible it can be. But the funny thing is, when it actually happened, it was the closest I've ever felt to my husband.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever, because I didn't get to experience birth. And was the closest I'd ever got to having a natural birth. And it was the aftermath was horrible. I mean, I went into a deep depression, but that experience with him was actually like transcended anything we'd had emotionally before. It was it was pretty amazing.
It's truly, I went into labor, and so it was just, and we weren't near a hospital, and then it took like 2 days, and then I finally got here, and then I had to have a D&C. It was very bad.
No, again, the more stories that we hear, the less isolated we feel, and the less, you know, women feel empowered by other people's stories. So I think that to talk is a gift in so many ways for other women. So
Well, just lets them know they're not alone. You know,
Yeah.
as it is. So I
got so crazy after that I called this energy energy clear. I'm like, oh my God, what if I have like bad energy around me? And like, I'm like, Scott's like, you're going crazy. But yeah, it definitely put me into like a bit of a spin.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
the greatest quote is, "Do not waste your pain." And I love that quote. Don't waste your pain. We all have it. So put it through your art or helping other people, or everyone's got something that they struggle with. Don't waste it. Like use it. And I'm like, I have so much pain to share.
With the world.
Mine is don't mistake my kindness for weakness.
Ooh. What's yours, Roxy?
Throwing it out there.
I love it. I just like mine. Super simple. It's just be you. It's be yourself. Like be who you are. Everybody else in the world is already taken. Just be you and be confident, right?
I said something the other day to someone. We were having an argument. I'm like, you be you over here. Not
be you over
here.
Yeah.
We don't need to be us. We don't need to be me's together. Like you be good over here and I'll be wonderful over here.
But you are, Roxy. Right? Like when I met Roxy, she's just you're so comfortable in your own skin, and I love that. Like I want to be that. You are like she walks into a party and she's like, "Yo, girl, I'm here." I'm like
wearing such a good freaking sweater right now.
I'm always like,
she's got a
go into the
white
background. Don't let people see you. Don't let people see you. They're looking at you. They're looking at you. And she's like, "Girl, I'm here."
What's up?
Perspective.
I'm glad I'm fooling you guys because literally these were the dirty clothes that are on my closet floor today.
Outfit. So
Thank you. I was like, okay, I just got to get ready in like 2 seconds.
I still am wearing the same underwear from the airplane. I just wore
the
it
airplane.
just back to front, right? It'll be fine. On that note, thank you for being here.
Was the other day, I'm like, what is wrong? I'm like,
What is smell?
Why does something feel uncomfortable? I'm like, why? I'm in a jumpsuit. I'm never in a jumpsuit. I'm too long to be in a jumpsuit. And I was in Kentucky and I was at Dunkin' Donuts. I'm like, why is this still feeling uncomfortable?
You're wearing your G-string.
I had a thong backwards. I'm like,
my God. Up the vag.
Up the vag. See, I don't wear
I can't.
thongs. I don't wear thongs because I don't understand the concept of something up
I
your
know, there's
butt.
people wear granny
Like unless
panties
it feels
all day
good,
long.
fine. But
All
like
day
it doesn't feel. I wear granny panties. Like
I
who
wear
wants
a
to
lot
wear?
of granny. I wear the
You and your thong.
they're
That's your underwear.
Brief.
They're like briefs, but they're like
Yeah.
they're like the Spanx, but they're like the seamless ones.
Yeah.
or whatever that
I
They
like
make your
those.
clothes.
Yes.
The worst is when they because you've had a C-section, they cut in and then the skin just hangs over the top.
can't even
and so I'm like,
wear.
but I'm a small, so I don't get it. So I really am a medium large because it has to go over the skin.
my God,
so I'm
no.
just sitting there and it's just like a big tire over my underwear. I'm like, how's my husband? So when we have sex, I have to stretch out. So like the skin doesn't fall on top of him. So like, I'm like, this is it, honey. This is all we got. Or from the side so he doesn't see it. So like I have one ab, but I can't, like it's never gonna be like on top because that's a disaster. So I just have to stretch out like a starfish. I have to fix that shit for my own self-esteem.
I'm gonna give you a number.
No, please, thank you. Fix my skin so I don't have to be a starfish in bed. And on that note, thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome.
We love our mom.
I manifested you into my life 3 years ago. I sat there behind you and I was like, how can I be on that plane? And I did it. So anything is possible.
You guys, you have to have me back now that I'm your friend.
Oh,
Girl, we need part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. We need to keep this
I will
going.
meet you out sometime because I'm gonna see you around and we're gonna have a few drinks too many because you and I normally have
No,
like
you
one
won't.
and a
You're
half.
going to bail at the last minute. Be
No,
like,
we're
I'm not
probably
going
will
out.
We're not gonna have 1.5. We're gonna have like 7.
If I had 3,
gummy.
I'd be like, where's the stripper
Gummy,
pole? So like
sure.
3 is good enough. Like we'll be like, oh my God, let's just get the skin cut off. We'll probably just go to the place to get it cut off together on our 3 margaritas. Last time I had 3 margaritas, I flew to Vegas. That's a true story. That is a true story. So don't.
That's part 2.
Yeah, 5 margaritas, I'll be in Brazil.
This
so.
is actually why you cannot take cocaine, okay?
You would
3 drinks. I'm like, why
would
the
be-
fuck are we not in Brazil? Why? Why are we here? So 1.5 is good for me. 1.5, I'm like a little friendly.
Yeah.
A
You're
little
like, hey.
talkative. Anyway,
love you
we will have some drinks.
Love you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for helping women.
Yes.
Thank you for getting in the pit of this disaster.
Thank you for coming into our dark
And I'm sorry.
world.
I'm sorry, not sorry.
Sorry,
That's
not sorry.
that's our new motto. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Sorry?
Not sorry. Well, thanks, Roxy Soxy.
Thanks, Tim. Damn it.
And
Thank
I love you.
Molly.
Love you guys. And we
Love
are
you. Women
on
Top. And
top.
where can we find us?
Women on Top Official.
Yeah, on Instagram and on Facebook.
Woo! Bye, guys.